This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good afternoon, Tuscaloosa, Internet world, West Alabama. How we doing today on this Tuesday? This is the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com. You're watching us on the Bama Central YouTube channel, and we are live in the Derek Daniels Studios right off of McFarland Boulevard, right here in Tuscaloosa, really in Northport. You can find us past the Tiger Rock on the left. And we are here again to talk, oh my gosh, about what happened in Norman. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have really probably a long episode today. We didn't have an episode yesterday, and that is my fault. We really had a little difficult travel day on Sunday, and I got off of my football duties, and really probably my body said, nope, you're not doing the show. You're going to sleep. Your brain says, so we're here on a Tuesday morning in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. I'm Joe Gaither. You're the listener, the viewer, watching us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, at Joe Gaither6. You're checking us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon, the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. We are here with my friend Mason Woods. The sun came up, but it is raining here.
I don't know. It really didn't kind of come up this morning, honestly.
You can find Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. And we endured Saturday. We have a lot to talk about from this game. The Oklahoma loss, 24-3, not even a touchdown. The last time Alabama went without a touchdown, Mason, do you remember? Did you see what it was? In 2011.
It's a long time.
2011 game of the century right here, LSU, field goal fest. Absolutely disgusting offensive performance. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the defense. We'll talk about really Alabama and this coaching staff, if they learned any lessons at all from any of these losses to Tennessee and to Vanderbilt. And we'll talk about the Oklahoma Sooners, if they took them lightly, what this means for the Crimson Tide, what it means for the playoff chances. You're out if I were in charge.
Yeah.
And we'll get into all of that on the program today. Once again, before we dive fully into it, we want to thank Derek Daniel for sponsoring the program. You can find him right here off the McFarland Boulevard, past the Tiger Rock on the left, Highway 69 North. Call 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Home, life, auto insurance. Derek Daniel and his team would love to take care of you. Red Reese and Victoria are upstairs waiting for your phone call. Call them today at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. Mason, how we doing, man?
I've been better. I have been better. That was that was a tough Saturday night. That was I'm sitting here racking my brain, trying to think of really just anything positive to take from that game, and I'm drawing blanks here. I don't. There's so much wrong with everything about Alabama's performance on Saturday night, top to bottom, all three phases of the game. It was just an atrocious performance. You went up to Norman, one of the most important games of the season. I mean, you got your playoff hopes, your berth in the SEC championship on the line, and you just completely lay an egg. And man, I am at a loss for words.
That's a perfect place to start. With everything that was on the line. Because, okay, spin yourself back 6 months, 3 months, 5 months, whatever, before the season, and you said, okay, Alabama, you're going to have a decent year, but you're going to lose at Oklahoma. Most Alabama fans would say, that's probably a tough place to play. They're probably going to be a pretty decent little team, obviously. Good program. I have considered them a blue blood program really the whole time that I've been alive. It's okay, I understand that. But as the season unfolds, the circumstances of the season, you go through, you beat Georgia on a miracle play, you lose to Vanderbilt, you question your soul search. Oh, you keep soul searching after a loss to Tennessee. Oh, bam, 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 we know who we are. Shutout over Missouri. Oh, no, absolute butt kicking down at LSU. Oh, we know who we are. Okay. That's what was so flabbergasting, so mind-blowing about this performance is the fact that here you are, 2 weeks left in the season. You win against Oklahoma and against your rival Auburn. You are in the SEC championship game, basically with a win, with a Missouri win. Missouri gives you that win earlier in the day.
Yep.
You see Indiana, Indiana lay an egg, basically not perform.
Indiana did exactly what we all knew they were going to do.
Sure. So there's room to move up here in the polls. You're seeing the path is opening wide open for you. Missouri's beating whoever they play at Mississippi State, right? And
Ole Miss goes down, just takes another team out of contention.
Absolutely, everything's wide open for you. And so you're sitting there like, oh, if we just beat Oklahoma tonight and go and handle our business against our biggest rival, we're going to be in the SEC championship game. And all this Vanderbilt stuff, and at Tennessee and all these Vols, talk doesn't matter. All your goals are right in front. Like, that is what's so flabbergasting. Not to lose, 24-23, 35-32, 41-40, 52 in some epic fashion where it's just back and forth, or it's just two defenses grinding it out. Just right. Give me that old, what was it, 3-2 Mississippi State Auburn game in what, 2009, 7, 13, somewhere in that range. It wasn't that. No. Like, it was Oklahoma. We know exactly what you're going to do, Alabama, and we have a good plan against it. We know exactly what we want to do, and you just looked unprepared. You looked absolutely unprepared.
I mean, they watched Tennessee and Vanderbilt, and they said, "Hey, those teams, they did. Let's just do what they did."
Right? They melded their game plan together, and they tailored it to their own personnel. And it was just an absolute mind-boggling performance with everything that's on the line, with everything that you've seen from this team, with everything that you've heard for the last couple of weeks. Oh, we're back to you getting back into contention and a 1-0 mindset. Like, it was. They looked unplugged. They looked disinterested, but more importantly, they looked unprepared.
Yep.
They looked like they had no answers. They looked like there was no plan B. It looked like they were shell-shocked by a road environment that was, quite frankly, I mean, it was a good environment. You give credit, but it wasn't hostile. It was more
Baton Rouge.
No, exactly. It was more party environment than hostile. It was more, we're going to celebrate our own team rather than and tell you to put it stick it where the sun don't shine, like some of these other schools. Like, it was just unbelievable.
I feel insane. The definition of insanity: doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. That's this Alabama football team this year. It feels like you lose to Vanderbilt. Pretty obvious why you lose. Vanderbilt just was physically, they just beat you up physically. Go to Tennessee, exact same thing happens. All right, let's back to the drawing board. You have a couple good weeks there, and you go up to Norman. I don't understand how you can't, at any point in the last week, think, all right, Oklahoma's probably just going to try to do the same thing as the two teams that beat us. Let's figure out how to stop that. They didn't, it seems like.
It was just mind-blowing how unprepared and disinterested with it. Like, it wasn't like, oh, this Alabama team was, what would they have been, 8-3 already, or this Alabama team was 7-4 already. Like, oh, the playoffs weren't in. Like, everything was lining up for this. That's what's so mysterious to me. Everything was breaking your way for you to just handle your business and literally take yourself the number 2 seed in the college football playoff. But instead, you went out to Oklahoma, and I think, look, oh man, the coaching, the game plan was just horrific, and so I wonder if that played into the players being like, man, what are we doing out here? So maybe that left them a little bit. Maybe that
took away
hurt their physicality just a little bit. Maybe, I have no idea. I'm looking for excuses just like you are. I'm looking for answers just like you are. I was there. The offensive line got your butt kicked all night. Now, I saw the offensive line schematically was put in a lot of bad positions, but that didn't answer for Elijah Pritchett just being a paper tiger out there, just being just ole and left and right and just patty cake with whoever he was up against. It was just ridiculous. The effort, ridiculous. The plan, ridiculous. The execution. And look, we'll get into Jalen Milroe, but it was way beyond 4.
Oh,
4 was
way
bad.
beyond.
4 was definitely bad, but it was way beyond. Offensively and defensively, it was man,
top to bottom.
The bright spots were like no one. Like
I think Joseph Cuevas had one nice catch at one point.
He had the one-handed catch, and Ryan Williams obviously had 2 highlight plays that both were taken away from him.
Unceremoniously taken off the board.
Obviously, the one he was out of bounds on the first one, but just a hard night to swallow. Just a hard night to wrap your head around. A hard night to figure out. Because you watch this team all year and you start to feel like, okay, I understand who they are. I'm starting to figure them out. They're starting to find themselves. And then to have that happen, it makes me wonder, oh my gosh, what have I been missing?
Yeah.
What have I been missing this year? Is LSU just that trash? It really is. I mean, obviously Mercer, that game doesn't really matter, but Missouri,
so we thought was a really good defense.
And Missouri and Oklahoma, but battle tooth and nail. So you shut out Missouri. So you take the transitive property, which I think doesn't exist in football because every matchup is unique, team to team. It just makes me wonder what the heck you missed.
Yeah, there are so many question marks because, like you said, it really felt like this team had turned a corner and had finally, at this point of the season, the back third of the year had finally figured out an identity. This is who we are. This is what we do. But now it just feels like they're right back at square one. You're right back sitting here in early October after a loss to Vanderbilt thinking, what in the hell just happened? But we're at the end of the season.
Mason, do you remember, was it Friday? Yeah, we did 3 keys to the game. I had 3 keys. And this is not a pat yourself on the back. This is oh my gosh, how bad you did, Alabama. 3 keys. And they're like the simplest 3 keys in the world. Number 1, win the turnover battle. Lost 3-1. Number 2, stop design quarterback run. Jackson Arnold, 25 carries, 131 yards of just death by 1,000 cuts. 4 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards. Yes, by 1,000 cuts. Number 3, live in third and manageable offensively. Their average down in distance for third down, 7.7 yards, 3rd and 7.
It's not a way to win a football game.
Almost 3rd and 8.
Not a way to win football games. Alabama did not do anything.
That's the issue.
Anything to win this football game. They did all of the things that they had to do to win this game. They did 0 of them. It's just I am made of question marks. I do not know. I don't know. I have tried to sit here. I have, tried to analyze this, tried to look at it, tried to figure out just something that says, all right, that's the reason this happened. And I just don't know. It's just, they just didn't show up.
Exactly. And that's what's so flabbergasting because you've been covering Tyler Booker, Malachi Moore. You've been covering some of these guys for a long, long time. They were saying the right things this past week.
Seemed like everybody was locked in. Everybody knew what was ahead of them. There was no sense, at least between you and me, and we talk about this team every day. There was no sense that they're overlooking Oklahoma a little bit. I may have overlooked Oklahoma a little bit, but props to the Sooners. They had a perfect game plan. They executed it perfectly. That I don't want to take anything again. I don't want to take anything away from them. Brent Venables, you earned yourself a lot of fans in Norman, Oklahoma that night.
Well, really, we were talking about needing a signature win in the SEC season.
Bingo.
They hadn't rushed the field. I was okay. Well, before we get into the actual game, let's just talk about some of this
Yeah.
ancillary stuff. I'm on the field at the end of the game, and look, Nebraska, you rush the field. What the heck are you doing? You have some shame. I know you just got bowl eligible, but have some shame. Oklahoma, have some shame.
Yeah.
You get fined twice for rushing the field early. And just a full disclosure, I was part of both of those field stormings just because I'm there with my camera.
I'm trying to get
And you can see this on the Bama Central YouTube channel. Actually, my video was a little bit shadow banned because of some of the audio they played. Ain't no love in Oklahoma. And so it's like some of the got copyrighted there, but you can still find it on the Bama Central YouTube channel. And I'm asking them, like, when's the last time the field was stormed? Oh, I don't know. It's been 20 years. Oh, it's been forever. And we looked it up. It was 2000 or 2002 when it was. So it had been a long time. But I was like, are y'all not a blue blood program? And they're like, oh, you only live once. That's what they were saying. Oh, you got to do it, man. And I was like, what?
Field storming is losing its it's no longer special.
Right.
It's gotten out of hand. Like, you stop storming the field. It is losing its luster.
Well, you're Oklahoma. Like, I know you beat ranked Alabama. That's big. That's your first big SEC win.
But you're supposed to expect to win these games.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like you, however many national championships you have like 30-something conference championships, and you have like however many Heisman Trophy winners that we count. I think it was like 5 or 6 or 7 out there on Heisman Trophy Lane with all the statues.
It
was cool. Yeah, you saw Billy Sims. You saw Baker Mayfield.
How little is Kyler Murray's statue?
No,
it's the same size.
No, it's the same size. Kyler Murray is out there. I think there were 5 or 6. There was some of the older looking statues as well. It was really cool. Like everywhere you looked, Oklahoma, their pageantry was on display. You walked through the stadium concourse and it was all like championship this guy and honoring that guy. Joe McCoy was all over the place, and Brian Brosworth was all over the place. It was honoring their past, and they have a lot of it on display. Absolutely. And so that's why I was like on the field, like, guys, like, did you not expect, like, obviously they probably didn't expect to beat Alabama. Sure. But it's just like, do you not just walk away thinking like, ooh, feather in our cap, we don't have to rush the field? That just gives us hope going forward. Like, we're not.
Yeah, rushing the field, that is not for the Oklahomas of the world. That is for the Vanderbilts. That's for the South Carolinas. Absolutely. And that is not for a blue blood team like Oklahoma. And maybe they don't consider themselves that currently after a 6-5 season, but you still are Oklahoma. You still have been relevant. You still have been one of the premier programs in college football for as long as I can remember, and even since well before that.
That's one of the guys said, "Oh, this is for bowl eligible," and I was like, and like you can hear him on the camera, be like, "When did Oklahoma ever celebrate being bowl eligible?"
That's ridiculous.
Like, come on. So we run onto the field. And everybody's hooting, hollering, and then you hear the PA announcer, "The game is not over. Please clear the field. The game is not over." And your boy finds himself on the Alabama sideline just because, where we are. And you can see all this. I literally just left it rolling. And Greg Byrne looked angry. No, I think a lot of it was, the result, yes, but I think at that moment it was concern for the players and getting everybody off the field and getting the staff and the equipment.
Really don't quite grasp how chaotic that situation can get and how dangerous it can be for the players, for the staff.
No, it was just a facial expression. I didn't talk to him.
I'm sure he was pissed because that invites all kinds of issues that he is going to be the person. He's going to be the person that has to deal with them probably. So yeah, I'm sure he was not super stoked with that. I imagine him and the Oklahoma athletic director probably shared some heated back and forths over it.
Oh yeah, maybe. Obviously Alabama's got paid what, $200,000 because Oklahoma rushed the field twice. Now, one thing for Oklahoma, they did have the collapsible goalposts, which is
genius.
Yes, perfect. So like as soon as the first wave went, they went
That's genius.
Straight down.
Every team needs to implement that.
Yes. And so like nobody's jumping on goalposts or anything. And then as soon as everybody got off the field, they went right back up. So like you didn't have to go find new goalposts because the fans went stupid on you or anything like that. And then they re-rushed the field and right back down. It was just like automatic. So like, they did a lot of things right. Just from a fan experience. That
sounds like it was an enjoyable time.
I will say this. It just seemed like the security never thought it was going to be a possibility that they would rush the field until it was already a possibility. And it was like, well, we just got to contain it as best we can.
Well, I mean, like we kind of just, they're probably
they put a rope up around the Alabama sidelines.
They're probably sitting there thinking to themselves, well, like, hey, it's Oklahoma. Nobody storms the field at Oklahoma. Sure enough, here we are. Look, man, I'm glad it was a cool experience for them, but Oklahoma, let's take a step back. Come on. Think about the grand scheme of things here. Maybe have a little more self-respect.
Our buddy Wendell Hare on the Facebook machine comments, and you can comment as well on Facebook. It took Arizona State 20 minutes to get the fans off the field. Yeah, they rushed the field, and they were like, oh, there's 1 second left. That coach went ballistic.
Yeah.
That's bleeping. That's bleeping. The game was bleeping over. The game is over. Bleeping. Like, he was losing
with his wife standing right behind him.
Like, it was like, honey, put your earmuffs on. It was all, that's bleeping this. You bleeping that.
I'm all in on the Sun Devils.
And then he goes in the press conference. It was like, our guys are underpaid. Sun Devil Collective or whatever it is. Our guys. And so, like, yeah, that was a great moment for them. But
the field, it's gotten out of hand. It is completely like it just and I know that it's not. It's become so much more of a, oh, we can go viral here. Oh, everybody get their phones out. We can film ourselves running onto the field. Like it's gotten away from being a genuine moment of like elation for fans to, get a big win in a game they weren't expected to, when it's kind of just shifted into everyone wants to get their viral moment. Did you see from the Cal game, had, fans rushed the field after Cal beat Stanford, and equipment manager is posted up on the sideline in front of the helmets and shoulder pads, watching, trying to make sure nobody's kid comes by, tries to swipe a helmet. He chased the kid like 60 yards down, tackled him, suplexes him, gets the helmet back. So, things like that. Those are the kind of situations that present themselves when fields get stormed. So just let's maybe pump the brakes a little bit, folks.
Now that did happen while we were in the end zone with like 5, 7, 6, 5, the clock counting down. Alabama's equipment staff is running things off the field. They're
because I don't know if you saw Danny Stutzman's jersey got stolen.
Yes, that's
so
horrible.
Like there's so many people in that like there are vultures in there that they're just waiting for the opportunity to say, oh, rush the field. All right, I'm gonna go steal some equipment, and it's just sad. Like, I don't know, it's ridiculous. If this is gonna be the place we find ourselves in now in college football, let's step the security up and let's see if we can maybe stop these things before they happen.
The Alabama equipment staff, they've been through this drill before. They're like, anytime we're about to lose on the road, start running everything off, start just taking salvage whatever you can.
I would love, because I'm sure those numbers never come out. I would love to find out, on a weekend like that, how much equipment gets lost or stolen, because I'm sure it's an alarming amount of money.
No. All right, let's turn it back to the football game itself. Before we do, we'll tell you about our friends Purple Turtle Roofing. They're the most reliable residential roofing replacement company in Alabama and Mississippi. Whether it's addressing leaks, storm damage, or general wear and tear, Purple Turtle Roofing is going to be there to deliver exceptional roof repair for your property. Purple Turtle Roofing is the leading expert in local residential roofing solutions, specializing in providing unparalleled service and quality craftsmanship for all your roof replacement needs. Call Dustin and his team today at 877-PT-ROOF-5 for your free roof inspection. That's 877-787-6635 to schedule your appointment, and one of their qualified employees will come check out your roof for free and make sure you're prepared for any and all of life's storms. Check them out online today at roofturtle.com. We really, really appreciate Dustin Foley and his team. We wish them a happy Thanksgiving. And you can call Dustin Foley at 877-787-6635 for all your roofing needs. All right, so let's actually get into the meat of the game. It was a terrible performance, and we've already talked about the field storming. I'll just take these notes by notes. My
Mhm.
first notes, let's just talk about Jalen Milroe, quarterback run, Nick Sheridan, the offensive game plan. Let me go over to my stat broadcast away. Jalen Milroe, 15 carries, 7 yards, 11 yards was his longest rush. Obviously, one of these was a sack, so he really had, I think he had like 12 yards. I think he lost 5 yards.
Still not great.
On the sack. Awful, awful, absolutely awful.
I do want to ask you.
Go ahead.
How many of because this is something that we've talked about a lot, the split between Milroe rushes versus the running back getting carries. How many of these are just off Milroe making bad reads and taking the ball when he shouldn't?
Okay, well, that's a perfect place to start. Thank you. I wrote about this. I looked at all 14 runs. One was a scramble, so I looked at all 13 all 13 runs where he took the ball in a design fashion. Oh shoot! I should just pull up my article just so I'm not just pulling this off the top of my head.
Because I don't know the exact number, but watching it, it's pretty blatantly obvious that Jalen Milroe does not really read.
Well, exactly.
He makes decisions.
There was not a whole lot of opportunities to read. So we'll just take them first. One in a row.
Yeah.
The first one is not a read. Yeah, the first one's not a read. The second one, is not a read either. The third one's a quarterback draw. All right. Here's his fourth carry is quarterback read, and he reads it correct because the guy's going.
Yeah, I remember this.
But
this is where he makes the horrible. He tries to make a guy miss, right, and gets tackled ends up losing 3 yards.
No, it's a 3 or 4 yard gain.
Okay.
But he's reading it. Miller's going across his face. The defensive end is crashing, and it's him in the corner out to his left.
Yeah, okay.
And he is running at the corner to try to make him miss outside, and he's realizing, oh, the corner's just sitting on this, so let me just take my 3 yard gain. If you did just put your dadgum feet in the ground, quit dancing around.
Jalen Milroe, you are not a shifty, open field, juke a guy out kind of player. You are a one-cut runner. You plant your foot in the ground and you go.
Have you ever watched Jalen Hurts run? Like exactly like that.
If right there on that play that you're talking about here, if he does that,
6 yard gain
easily.
Yeah.
But instead, you try to make somebody miss and you get 2 or 3 out of it.
But you're asking about your quarterback read. So the next one's not a read. All right. So you get into first quarter 5:05. I think that it was a read. Yeah, I think it is a read, and I think that he read it correctly. He gets 6 yards. Yeah. He gets 6 yards. All right. So the next one is 7 steps forward. The next one is a quarterback read, but but really is another one where I think he reads it correct, but he just tries to get outside, and like they're just sitting all over it. And why, like, it's just over and over where they're sitting on it, even if whoever he's reading is, I'm reading you, you're crashing. Like there's somebody coming over the top just already. Like the person that he's supposed to be reading, that they're like, oh, we'll just dummy you into it, basically.
So then let's look at, hey, Nick Sheridan. Hey, buddy. Can you recognize a pattern?
That's the issue. That's the biggest issue because people want to put it on 4. Okay, the interceptions, we'll get to those in a second. Yes,
I think his bad play snowballs with the rest of the team. Though. It's not
the very first play of the game, Mason, is a quarterback run, and they're getting after it. Okay. And Stutzman just cracks Jalen Milroe on the very first play of the game. It's quarterback draw, and really the run fits Oklahoma's run fits are tight, are really, really tight. And Oots overruns, CJ Dupree overruns a guy, and Stutzman comes underneath and just bam, here holds Milroe for like a 1 yard gain. Like
set the tone.
Yeah, exactly. Set the tone. And everything that we've now. You saw Justice Haynes kind of work himself through some things on the sidelines, not being fully available. But everything that we talked about, give the ball to the running back, feed the running back, like jam, 12 carries, 45 yards, average 3.8. Like,
I'll take it.
Like, how about we make that 12-24? Like, I'm sorry that Justice is dinged up and not 100% in this moment, but Jam, buddy,
He's capable.
Like, tonight's the night.
Yeah.
Tonight's the night that we're putting you 25 carries, because look at what they're doing defensively. Just that's what is flabbergasting to me is, Mason, how much film do you think I watch a week? Just guess. just guess, please.
Hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe.
That's
hours.
probably about right. Maybe I would have said about 3 hours tops. And I'm trying to look at it critically. Usually at Alabama's next opponent or at Alabama, just vice versa. But as he said, Mason, about 3, maybe 4 hours a week of my job is I'm going to checking out the opponent and trying to see what I can see, trying to see some tendencies. I'm sitting in the press box and I am routinely calling Alabama's plays out. And it is just like, now, we'll get chicken and the egg discussion part of this in just a second. But you're in the press box, and I'm thinking, I only study about 3-4 hours a week. The other team, the program that is fully employed, $1 million organization, has many people pouring hours and hours and hours and hours over film, are saying, well, here's tendencies every time. Look, Jalen Milroe, he wants to get outside of you. He's got to get out. Like, yeah, he does. He'll run it on the inside, but he would really rather break outside any chance he gets. What did they do defensively? Jalen's right. Yeah, Jalen's right. Oklahoma's left. Right. Oklahoma's left side defensive end. The entire night, the entire evening, flying upfield, staying to the outside, saying, hey, buddy, you're not escaping right to where you can roll out and throw. The entire night. And you're not going to just say, okay, well, this joker is just vacating the gap, just vacating most of the time. And you can't. I don't understand what the analyst staff are doing. Like, of course, Nick Sherrod is locked into his plan. Yeah. But somebody's got to be in his ear. Hey, buddy,
something's not working here.
Right. And whether it's stubbornness in the booth, I have no idea.
Yeah.
You got no idea. But like, whether it is, now here's the chicken and the egg discussion. Whether it's, hey, man, our playbook is limited because of what 4 can and cannot do. I don't think that's the case. Because I think the playbook can be deep enough with his skill set. Maybe it's not developed, and maybe it goes back to the very beginning of our conversation where I thought that there was really very little plan B on offense or on defense. Now, I think defense did get into plan B in the second half. Yeah, and we'll get into defense in a second. But I think the playbook is absolutely capable enough to be deep enough, despite some of Jalen Milroe's inefficiencies. Yeah. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say he's the perfect quarterback, but you can win with him. You can.
They have. Yeah. We have seen it.
And you can put together a creative game plan that accentuates his skill sets and diminishes his deficiencies. It's very possible.
It seems like the Alabama staff wants to do the exact opposite week after week by forcing him to do the exact things that he struggles with.
Well, I don't think that they really asked him to do anything he struggled with this week. I think that they just were so rooted in his skill sets of, okay, well, Justice is hurt. Yeah. Well, we got to have more out of you, Jalen, in the run game. And Oklahoma really went into the game saying, we don't give a crap what happens. 4's not running. Jalen's not running on us. They were like, we do not kill. Like, if you get down the field on us, throw the bombs on us. I mean, you saw beautiful bomb officials mess you up over. Like, they said, we don't care. We are going to. What did Tennessee do? They crushed you off the edge. Yep. They said, we are just going to box you in and make you A, beat us from the pocket if you're going to pass, or and B, if you want to run, it's got to be in the A-gaps, buddy. Yep. It was just some of those.
So upsetting.
Yes,
it's so upsetting.
Because here's my question, Mason. I have left the Georgia game. I've left the LSU game. I've left the Missouri game. And I left the Wisconsin game. Yeah, for sure. Thinking, man, that Nick Sheridan. Ooh, what an offensive coordinator. What a play caller.
Yep.
What like he was dialing it. Like he was really now a couple of those times in the Georgia game, you got in some of those trick plays that got like I think he got out in front of himself a little too much. But Wisconsin game, he dialed the deep shot passes that he dials up against the looks that Wisconsin was giving him was absolutely just like, oh, perfect. And okay, you can say we don't care about what was it, Western Kentucky or South Florida. I think it was Western Kentucky at the very beginning. He dialed a couple of deep shot to Ryan Williams, and like you can say who cares, but like the look, the
scheme is there.
Yeah, the scheme versus the look was just like incredible. And so, how do I balance the handful of times this year, and there have been a healthy handful of times where I think this offensive game plan couldn't be any better, versus what you see, like, look, the offense really wasn't the issue against Vanderbilt. You just had 2 turnovers. They crippled you. The offense was the issue in Knoxville for sure. But it was not. It was non-existent. It was non-existent, and there was no. Well, let's start this or let's go to that. Like,
let's just keep trying.
How do I balance the two concepts?
Man, it's I don't know. To be honest with you, I think it's very difficult to make judgments on it. I think because like this offense goes so much with just where Jalen Milroe's at week to week. You know, if his confidence is riding high, it seems like the rest of the offense is riding with him. But like the moment he does something where he feels himself like, oh no, it's just everything snowballs. And I don't know if that's, that's talks to his leadership where everyone on the team looks up to him so much. And it's like, all right, our leader's down. Well, then we're down. But man, it's just the team goes and it does not go based on Jalen Milroe. Whether you like that or not, that's the way it is.
So was the offense doomed from the very first play when Danny Stutzman said, my helmet to your helmet?
That's what it seems like.
And it's game on, buddy.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it was. I think that play, it set the tone for Oklahoma. This is what we're going to do tonight. It set the tone for Alabama. This is what we're going to do to you tonight.
How heartbreaking.
And it's just, I like Jalen Milroe. I will continue to hammer that. I like Jalen Milroe. I have liked him. He has been a great quarterback here. He has his deficiencies, sure. But overall, I think his body of work, he's been an excellent quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Sure.
But, man, it in a situation like that, buddy, you've been here 5 years. You got to be a little mentally tougher than that. You got to be able to have some wherewithal and say, all right, let's go back to the drawing board, play 2 second down. Because it just didn't seem, it didn't seem like he did. He kind of just cowered away. He shied away. And that's disappointing because I wouldn't have expected that from him in this moment on this stage with as much being on the line as it was. Milroe is a guy who he's a very he carries the crimson flag, roll tide, so like I just wouldn't have expected that kind of to just kind of turn away like that from him, but it's really kind of what seems like what happened.
So I obviously think that Jalen Milroe carries blame, but you
Not
have
all of it,
how
but
many
some.
drops in the first half?
Four drops. Four drops total. I don't know if all of them were in the first half. I think 3 of them were though. At least
look, you're fighting for your life out here.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the run game issues was Oklahoma just basically crashing off the edges, screaming to the outside, and really, really good tackling discipline as far as leverage goes. Anytime that
they tackled very well.
Anytime that Jalen had an opportunity to get outside, they said, no. Much like you would play a guard that you think they only have one hand. Well, I'm going to sit on your right hand because you can't do anything else. You can't dribble with your left hand. That's how awkward it looked to me, like, and how obvious it looked to me on tape. Like, dude, every single one of these defenders is coached to just outside, stay outside of him.
Just make Jalen Milroe go back in.
Fan him out. Jalen had opportunities to get north and south. Nick Sheridan did say that yesterday. He did. Absolutely. That's true. I just think that the game plan left a ton to be
Absolutely.
desired. The offensive line got their butts royally whipped the entire evening.
Yeah, and there was no bright spots along that offensive line. They all got whipped. I mean, I don't remember really seeing any of them do anything super impressive.
So why? Here's the question. My next question. If Elijah Pritchett is out there basically blocking air, almost no one.
He wasn't even blocking air.
Why the hell do you not put Wilkin Fornby? Like that, you told us all fall how close it was between Elijah Pritchett and Wilkin Formby, and look, we saw it. We saw Wilkin struggle against South Florida. Yes, like sure. I'm not sitting here and denying, but he has played decently in the past, and he's been cooking on the bench, cooking in practice for the last 6, 7, 8 weeks, however long it's been since we've seen him in real competitive action. Just throw him out there.
I don't.
For a series,
mind blowing to me. He's not going to be any worse than Elijah Pritchett was.
Oh, there was no chance.
Yeah, there was. Look,
no chance to be worse.
We talk, we get into a little NFL talk here and there. I've watched the Tennessee Titans play football. I've seen some bad offensive line play. That was bad offensive line play.
It was
like, I do not put anyone else out there. Even if you, for whatever reason, say you don't like, throw anyone else out there. Anyone on this team that has taken
McVay?
Sure.
Miles McVay seems like a dog, is just what we hear about.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know. Did they just, is it stubbornness? Is it they decided at that point in the game, we're sticking with what we have, we're going to just keep trying to make it work? I don't know. There's just so many question marks about every aspect of this game and where it all went wrong for Alabama and why they didn't show up. I don't know. I don't know why we got that kind of performance out of Pritchett. He's been nothing but solid all year.
I've been C+.
Okay. So, still, that was an F-.
Exactly. No, he wasn't even even passable. It was that's the difference.
So I just don't understand. And I know Oklahoma had a good game plan. Sure, we talked about that. They did. They very much had a good game plan. But man, at the end of the day, we know the level of talent Alabama has. Where was that talent on Saturday night? I guess it starts with coaching.
The lack of adjustments is just mind blowing.
Yeah.
Now look, everything got out of control on you really quickly.
Yep.
You go down the field. Really, your second drive for that field goal, right? And that should have been, goodness gracious, the second drive for the field goal, and should have been a touchdown. That's one of the instances where Jalen Milroe gets caught running to the sidelines, trying to get outside. Buddy, go north and south, get us a first down, get the chains moving, get us first and goal at the 4, and let's just see what happens. Instead, it goes from 2nd and 3 to 3rd and 8 or whatever, because he runs fans out of bounds, and the next play is not much better, and you kick a field goal. Okay,
still in the game,
right? You have a bad first half. All right, you're down 10-3, whatever. Defense, despite what we'll talk about when we get to the defense.
They're bending but not breaking.
Doing fine. Now, got really bleeping lucky in the first half on a trick play, but doing fine. You're not out of the game. You're getting the ball. You're getting the ball in the second half. It's fine, brother. Like, no problem. You're coming out of the second half, and you're starting to get to. Let me get to these plays right here. Third quarter. I love stat broadcast. Third quarter. You're starting to get to. First play at a half. Love you, Nick Sheridan. Jam Miller rush, 3 yards. Boom. Second play at half. Jalen Milroe pass complete short, Kobe Prentice. And there he goes, 14 yards. So, boom, just quick. That's perfect.
That's how you get Jalen Milroe back, confidence back. You get him his quick completions. And you get the offense moving.
Here we go. It wasn't all bad. You coming out of half, there you go, bam. And then literally your next play. Jalen Milroe, interception to Eli Bowen.
Yeah.
Eli Bowen returns to the 25-yard line. Now, this is the screen pass, right? He's throwing it to Ryan Williams, and
I love you, Kobe Prentice, but I don't know if I love you anymore.
Oh, just horrific. just horrific. Yeah, horrific.
Talk about blocking air. I mean,
Right.
that man got a full taste of oxygen.
The execution all night. I mean, people want to. It's easy to go online and say Jalen Milroe, you stink, blah blah blah. Like everyone, the 1 through 11, 1 through however many 18, 19, 20 players on the offense in rotation or whatever. All of them just awful. Kobe Prentice whiffs on a block, and Eli Bowen is standing right in front of Ryan Williams, like, here we go.
Thanks.
Thank you. And look, people, I get it. People, Jalen still shouldn't have thrown that ball. Okay, let's talk through this.
Yeah, I mean,
let's talk through this. The play call is wide receiver screen out to the right. Let's just put you in Jalen Milroe's mindset. First thing that's going to happen is these offensive linemen who have not been very good all night are about to vacate the premises and get out of my face. So I'm about to get the snap and all my protection's about to leave. So literally the play is snap, turn, throw.
Yep.
Snap, turn,
Instant.
throw.
There's
Execution.
no reading anything.
Right. It is get the ball to Ryan Williams' hands ASAP, and you see it. Like the throw offline because Jalen Milroe is going, oh, sure. Oh, believe.
Yes.
As he
turns and sees Eli Bowen. And at that point, it's too late to do anything. You can't, because if he stops throwing, he's going to fumble. He's not going to really hit a pump fake there. And even if he does, he's getting tackled by 4 defensive linemen.
He could have thrown it out of bounds. And maybe that's what he was trying to but he's already in the throwing motion by the time his brain is registering. That's not Ryan.
That interception begins with Kobe Prentice.
And ends with begins and ends. In Kobe, you give the young man credit for going what is it worth? But yes, thank you for going on Instagram and saying, he goes on Instagram on Sunday and says, "Oh, it's not that first one was on me." Yeah,
cool, man. Don't do it. Don't do that.
We know. We got it. The people who watch ball, we got it. Sorry that shows up on Jalen Milroe as a mistake, as an interception, but Kobe Prentice just absolutely. I wish we could adjust some of adjust some stats to just be like Kobe Prentice interception.
Yeah, because that's his fault. Like you said, maybe Milroe could have done a little bit more to get the ball out of bounds and just launched it over Ryan Williams' head or something, but he doesn't. He has a half second there to figure that out, and there's no time to think there. It is, like you said, ball in his hands, turn and throw. That is what it is. When the players that you are expecting as a quarterback to make plays out there on the outside do not make those plays, what do you do?
All right, but let's talk about how this lays.
I hate wide receiver screens for that reason exactly right there. Just a stupid play. I think it's we should never call wide receiver screens. No one should ever call a wide receiver screen. I hate them. I know Julio Jones was awesome at them, but I hate the wide receiver screen. I just had to put that out there.
Unless they're playing off coverage, if they're playing inside of 6 yards, get that, change it to something else. If they're playing 6 or long, six or further, all right, we can live with the 2 yard gain that you're probably going to get. It's not worth it.
No, it's not we talk about efficiency with basketball. That is not an efficient play.
That is the mid-range jumper.
Yes, that is the mid-range jumper of offensive plays right there. The wide receiver screen is awful. But anyway.
Okay. But let's talk about this. Defense goes out there. Okay, you're on the 25-yard line. They go, what? Jackson Arnold, 5 yards. Jackson Arnold. We'll get to the defense in just a little bit. They score.
Many of my qualms are not with this defense. I will say that.
You come back. Jalen Milroe rushed 3 yards. Then boom, Justice Haynes for 6, Jan for 2, Jam for 5, Jam for 4, Jam for 1, and then it's Jalen rush for -1. Okay,
all right, you tried it. Let's
but here we go. You've taken the ball out of Jalen's hands for really a lot of this drive. The first play is Jalen rush gain of 3, and then it's Justice jam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And you're facing that's first and 10, Jalen Milroe rush -1 yard, 2nd and 11. So you're going pass. You talked about this earlier, Mason. Jalen and his mindset, up and down, up and down. I've just been let down by my teammates. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair. I've just been let down by one of my wide receivers, and I've got a leg on my face, and the hole that I've been trying to dig us out of, that we've been trying to dig out of, it has now been deeper. Now it's 2nd and 11, and maybe I'll have to go back and look at it. This is in the third quarter. I'll look at my sheet here as Mason talks. Maybe this 1 yard loss, you can say somebody didn't block something.
Yeah,
I don't know. Well, I'll look at it in just a second. Next play, it's Jalen Milroe, CJ or was it Robbie Oots?
Robbie Oots.
Yeah. Robbie Oots out wide. Just like autopilot. Jalen Milroe, the lazy pass, and boom, Kip Lewis, 49 yards, touchdown.
Saw it the whole time.
For as much as interception number 1 is on Kobe Prentice, interception number 2, like that is
to a T on the quarterback.
That is an F- quarterback play. That is as you get, like, did not even read the play.
No,
just step. And so I wonder, we hear, I'm going to go 1-0 mindset every play, 1-0 mindset. Did you ever get out of the first interception? Did you ever get off the first interception? I mean, yeah, we're giving you a chance to kind of snap back into it, buddy. Here's a Jam Miller. We're moving the offense with somebody else for a second, letting you kind of resettle in, kind of see everything. And then it's just, so one mistake becomes 2. One mistake that's not your fault becomes 2 that absolutely is.
Yep.
I'm looking at this play right here. Go ahead.
He's trying to target Robbie. It's a horrible pass. It's all, even if the defender is not there, it's already an inaccurate pass. Robbie Oots would not have been able to make an easy catch, even if he could have made the catch. But the defender, you watch the play, he literally sees it from the snap. He takes about 5 steps out to his left, just hangs out for a second, and boom, right there. Thank you for the interception, Jalen Milroe. You didn't even see me. We talked about this, I don't know, it's been probably a month now or so since, I believe it was Greg McElroy talking about Jalen Milroe. I want to say it was after the Tennessee game, saying that a lot of times he thinks Jalen Milroe, before the play happens, just makes up his mind on what he's going to do. This is a prime example of that.
I just looked at it.
Before this ball was even snapped, Jalen Milroe knew exactly where he was throwing the ball. Didn't matter what the defense was going to do. I'm going to Robbie Oots here. And the defense knew that. And they saw it the whole way. And you can't play that way as a quarterback.
This 1st and 10 play that becomes 2nd and 11. Oh my gosh. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 Oklahoma players in his face in the backfield. So I wonder if he's just like, man, what can I do?
That's what I'm saying. I really think that, Jalen Milroe's confidence fully has just about everything to do with his level of play. If he is confident, he will give you great play. If he feels down, you're going to get the worst performance you're going to see out of him. I don't know. I hate to comment on like his mental toughness and things like that, but damn, homie, you've been here 5 years. Like, come on.
My reaction to that is how soft.
Yeah.
I mean,
come on.
I hate to say that.
I do. Yes, because look, I will not say that to your face, Jalen Milroe. I'm not. But man, how soft is that mindset? If that is the case, it's just sad.
I understand you just got blown up on this play before, and literally, I think this is a read. Let me see if I can. Yeah. Oh yes, this is one of the Elijah Pritchett plays. This is one of the Elijah Pritchett plays. Pritchett is it. Oh, actually, no. Oh yeah.
Pritchett is supposed to pulls and does nothing.
No. Booker is supposed to be pulling and leading leading. And I think that, and this is probably one of the plays that you're thinking about is a bad read because Richard Young is going outside and you've got an Oklahoma defender sitting. And I think that you can make an argument that if you give it to Richard Young, he could get outside. But I think that the whole design is kind of to fake a read. Elijah Pritchett's man, like he patty cakes this bastard. I'm sorry to say that. And so then that knocks Tyler Booker
snowballing,
off,
snowballing,
knocks Tyler
snowballing.
Booker off his path, and he's not going. He's not leading to the play, and so the guy and Elijah Pritchett, who has fallen off his man now. The Oklahoma defender is now in Jalen's face, and now the outside defender who's been rushing up the field the entire night is there, and he doesn't have any place to go. And
it's comedy of errors. Just a comedy of errors.
It's unbelievable how bad it was, like how layered it was. That's what I don't understand. It's because it's easy to blame for.
Mm-hmm. Very easy.
There are mistakes,
sure,
yes, but the layered executional failure
when you just
from the offensive line to the wide receivers to the tight ends to I didn't find any bad plays from the running backs, but I'm sure. Oh no, Richard Young. Oh yeah. In one of these plays, one of these bad quarterback runs, Richard Young, because the offensive line gets blown up. Richard Young has no idea who to block,
remember this one,
and so he has no idea who to block, and so he's debating on two different players to block.
Pick either of them.
Exactly, he doesn't pick either of them, and Jalen's trapped by all four of them, and it's just like.
But even then, I mean, yes, that's, Richard, you got to pick at least one, but it's not really his fault. He was set up for failure by his offensive line failing.
The executional, that is what is so flabbergasting to me, Mason, is that you have seen pretty high level of execution dating back to the Missouri week.
Yeah.
People complained a little bit about the Missouri week because you didn't get down the field, but it was a lot of, we're just getting the ball out. And hey, man, that'll work.
I will take that
that'll
10
work.
times out of 10.
We'll do a little West Coasty, just get the ball out, just kind of, just great. People are, it may not be, is Jalen hurt? He's not throwing the ball down the field. I don't care if he's 18 of 22 for 180 yards.
Doesn't matter.
Great. And then the next week, sure. Is LSU's defense bad? Has it been bad for 2 years? Yes. But it was the execution was off the charts, even considering the Ryan Williams drop for the touchdown. That ball was right there. The Jalen Milroe quarterback play was right there. And I don't care what happens against Mercer, but yeah, still the execution was good. Yep. And so
you did the little things well, and that was not present on Saturday night.
That's what I don't understand with this offense is what
changed?
Exactly. And that's what makes me lay it at the feet of, and look, this is not I'm just trying to assess the situation. But because it looks so bad, that just makes me lay it at the feet of Kalen DeBoer and Nick Sheridan, because these two guys, if the plan was any semblance of obviously the plan was so bad that it was jacked up at every level. It was jacked
from
up
the first play
at every level. And so it was just really hard to swallow.
That's the best way to put it. It is a very difficult thing to accept, that performance from Alabama, because it is so foreign from what we've seen from this team most of the year. And it's just not at all what you or I anticipated going into this game, for them to just completely lay an egg. I say lay an egg, not just from the perspective of they didn't score a lot of points. No, they just, from top to bottom, the team did not execute, did not perform, did not give effort. It was really, really embarrassing.
Exactly. It wasn't this one thing could have been different, or this one matchup gave Alabama problems, or, no.
We talk about the touchdown that got taken off the board. That's one of the most egregious calls I've ever seen in the history of college football. I couldn't care less about it to this day, on sitting here on Tuesday, because that play had zero effect on the rest of the game, because Alabama played so horribly they weren't winning, even if that touchdown counts.
Okay, we'll go right here then, because objectively, you're down. You call that touchdown. You're down 10. You've got 14 minutes left in the game to make the rest of it happen.
Mm-hmm.
The defense was playing decent at that point. You never know.
Yeah.
That's the point. You never know. Is it a terrible call? It's a horrible call. It's a horrible call. But here's
no, inexplicably bad. There's not even here's what he was thinking. I have yet to even figure that
theories.
out. Okay.
I've got a couple theories here. And I went out with one of them on Twitter yesterday and got mixed results.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, people are still, you still have to do your job, SEC officials. Yes, they do. They have to do their job. And
year-round training for officials. Please.
Go back one play, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and you come out and empty. This is one of the plays that I call in the press box next to Katie and next to some other people. Because it was so obvious, Nick Sheridan, but it almost worked because it's a damn good play. You come out in empty, and Jam motions in the backfield, and I say, oh, here comes the quarterback lead. Here comes that little zone, that the LSU.
The one that killed LSU.
Just destroyed them. And
Sure
absolutely, that's exactly what happened. And if Elijah Pritchett blocks a single soul,
just gets a hand on
minimum,
somebody.
at minimum, have the first down, have the 3 yard at minimum, and you probably, I would have bet you $20 that you got 20 yards, just a bet, at least, and you probably are tackled and whatever. But all right, but that didn't happen. Elijah Pritchett whiffs again, and you get tackled backside. Like Jam gets through the fake mesh, and he's gonna pick up the lead guy, but bam, Jalen gets crushed in the back because Jalen's playing the slow mesh because we're faking the read. You've all seen the play a billion times against LSU and against Georgia on that 4th and 1. It's the same play. Okay, here we go. 4th and 2. You got to go for it. And everyone comes out in the wrong formation. Now, you could argue it's not the wrong formation, Joe. Everybody's just like waiting on the call, and we're just kind of in a cluster, and we're just waiting on the call. Jalen gets the call, and he starts waving. Starts waving. The play clock's ticking down.
I mean, everybody is scrambling.
Oh, it is a Chinese fire drill.
It looked like a middle school football team trying to set up like a trips right.
This is 4th and 2, 4th and 3, the most critical play of the game. And I know the argument is you got to save your timeouts for these defensive stops. But if you don't get this play, you're dead anyways. So take your timeout.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. You can keep furthering the argument and say, Joe, you're stupid. All right, we'll keep the play going. What continues to happen? Yes, we get into a formation one way. Then we wave Ryan Williams back across the formation again. Now, Caleb Odom, yes, the official has to do his job. That's where the end of the day, where it stops. But Caleb Odom goes from on the line of scrimmage to the far right to now I'm off the line of scrimmage to the far right. And he does give the universal symbol, waves his arm back, and Caleb does his job. Eventually, and what a theme. Eventually, everybody on Alabama gets to the right place.
3 seconds left on the play clock.
There's a couple of seconds left on the play clock, and Jalen is snapping it at 1. So, yes, they are set. And the official can correctly diagnose the formation. He does have time.
Yeah.
But I wonder and contend if just the fire drill of the movement has everybody confused.
I'm sure.
And okay, people are, well, he still threw the flag. Like, yes, it's a horrible call. It's a terrible. But what my perspective is when I'm criticizing things, what can Alabama control?
Yeah.
What can my side control, right? What can the side that I'm covering control? You can't control the officials. You can't control the other side. You can control your organization. Why don't you why don't you know what you're going to call on 4th and 2? You've had it. Look, the quarter break has ended.
Yeah.
The quarter break ends after your 2nd down play and your 3rd and 2. And hey, buddy, if you don't get this first down, you're probably going for it on 4th down. Well, here's your next 2 plays. You have the 3-minute and I won't back down or whatever they played. They played some Toby Keith. They played Toby Keith on it. It wasn't won't back down. And maybe it was. No, that's Florida. No, they played American Man.
Courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
Yes, and those people went crazy.
I bet they did.
Great. Hey,
R.I.P. Didn't Toby Keith pass away?
It was a big kind of Toby Keith fest. And let's just say the Oklahoma people were great as far as being not nasty anyway.
Yeah.
And
good experience.
Oh yeah, they turned up when it was.
We'll put a boot in
it and recognize the food right. Yeah, it was great.
You come back out on that 4th down.
Right. You're on the 4th, and they're just.
Or you come back out on the 3rd down.
Confusion.
Yeah.
First off, the execution on 3rd down, absolutely just disgusting.
Terrible.
And then.
But why didn't you know what you were going to do the next play already?
And then, highway robbery, stolen. Does the play matter?
I mean,
I think it arguably does.
Yeah, I am in the camp, and I know this is a raging argument on Twitter just about every day. I am in the camp that I think momentum is a real thing. I do not think you can base.
Did you see Jalen Hurts?
Yes, I don't think that you can, stake a win or not on momentum, something. But the notion that like, oh, we just got a big touchdown on the road in a moment where we really need it. That's galvanizing for a team.
Down.
1,000%. That gets the whole team juiced up. Everybody's playing a little bit higher. The confidence is up. That's real. That is a real thing. It's still at that point, or what are we looking at? It's probably 17-10, that 24-10.
24-10, and you've got about 13 minutes.
So,
left.
Yes, that puts Alabama in a position to maybe have a chance to win that game.
Just stop.
Absolutely. Am I confident that they do that? No, but they have the chance. So yeah, it's egregious from that official. That was the same officiating crew that did the Texas, Georgia fans throwing garbage on the field. Oh, well, the fans are mad. Let's change the call now. Fire them. Fire them. They do not need to have a job. Fire them. I hate to call for people's jobs here. Fire them. They do not deserve to have a job. Fire them. Ridiculous.
I had a Georgia fan text me in the middle of this game. Did you know that this crew did the Texas Georgia game?
Fire them. Do not let them anywhere near collegiate athletics ever again. Fire everyone involved with that officiating crew. They are horrible at their jobs.
So at the end of the day, yes, the official messed it up. But what can Alabama do better?
Mitigate the potential for that to happen.
Right. Just be more organized and just like, yeah.
Because I guarantee, like you said, I guarantee that was the official just being confused. It's a loud environment. He's seeing a crap ton of movement in front of him, and he just got a little confused and thought, it's a flag. You know how you can stop that? Don't confuse him.
It's really, really, really terrible. Okay, so I have one more note. No, I have two more notes on the offense, and then we will hit a pause and do defense as we go on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central with my friend Mason Woods. Follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. You want to talk about the tackle, or do you want to talk about Ryan Grubb first?
I would like to talk about that tackle maybe, because that was alarming to me.
Well, there you go.
For Jalen Milroe to be someone who, like I said earlier, has been such a, carry the crimson flag, I bleed crimson blood, he is the face of the Crimson Tide. To do that, you didn't try to make that tackle, Jalen. You did not. I watched it. You did not try to make that tackle. We bang the drum every week that, at the end of the day, these players are giving effort. You did not give effort on that play. You did not try to make that tackle. You tried to save yourself from getting hurt and save face and just go out of bounds and go on with your day. That is to me, that's the worst part of this game. Is your quarterback going out there and saying, I don't care, whatever.
Right.
It's
painful. As someone who
I have ridden for Jalen Milroe for years. I have had your back, Jalen.
I usually am I choose to believe in just whoever I'm covering.
Yeah.
Just because I choose to believe in the best in people. Really, if I meet you, please meet me wherever you are, and I will believe in the best in you.
Mm-hmm. I want to root for these people.
Right. For any person that I meet.
Yeah.
And right now, they're the people that I interact with on a decent amount, And I think that they're trying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, working very long hours and putting it in. I know that, Jalen Milroe at the facility at 4:30. I know that is a real thing. I know that is a real thing.
You didn't try right there.
No, exactly. Going back to the start of the conversation on that play, you have just been kind of let down by your teammates on 1st and 10. It's 2nd and 11. Now you're a little bit checked out on the throw, not even reading the defense, and the mistakes goes from Kobe Prentice let me down to now I've let us all down to now I've really let us all down. Because look, you never know what happens. Of course, the defense had just let in a touchdown from the 20-25 yard line on the last interception. So yeah, the defense might have let in another touchdown right there, and it might have been 24-3 anyways.
Yep.
The result might have been the exact same.
But at least you gave yourself a chance.
Yes, you have. It's the 18-yard line. We have seen the Kane Womack defense make some red zone stops before. Maybe look. best case scenario, you get yourself a turnover. Woohoo! You get yourself a turnover on the right play. It could be 90 yards the other way,
And then right back to that momentum conversation.
Exactly. It was the slide tackle was
embarrassing.
Awful.
Jalen, you should be embarrassed.
Yes. We will hear from players tomorrow. I don't know who we'll hear from.
I doubt we'll hear from him. Maybe, though.
I doubt we'll hear from him as well. But I would love to
hear him answer
to be addressed a little bit. And even if it was the film, even if it was he was just too, if he says, I thought he was too far away. Like when I got up close to him, I realized he was 5 steps ahead of me and maybe our angle doesn't look
sure.
Right. Like it might, he might have already been ahead of it. I don't
buy that, but yeah. I just want to hear some explanation.
Kalen DeBoer and Nick Sheridan both yesterday talking about Kalen DeBoer. You got to find a way to bring him down.
I think both of them were very upset with that play.
I think so too. And so what do you like? You only have one game left. You're not going to make any changes. But man, and I have never been one. And I'm not even trying to say it now to bench Jalen Milroe. No, I'm not. Man. But like I've never been one to say, oh, bring in the backup, in the backup. I've always been in Jalen's corner. But like you give the other side, you give the Ty Simpson needs a shot. Ty Simpson's the best player on this team. You give the backup quarterback lovers, you give that camp all the ammo in the world, all the fuel in the world. And like you leave me with nothing to say.
Yeah. I can't defend you here, Jalen.
Right.
Can't do it anymore.
I literally just have to say, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. I work at Home Depot on Mondays, and many of the people I work with like sports, but not on the level that I like sports.
Sure.
So I get into conversations with people a lot, and like, it's some of the people I work with, they are sports degenerates like me. So like we get in but some people it's, they're much more like casual, much more surface level. And a lot of them are not Jalen Milroe fans. And I very frequently get into conversations trying to convince them to be a Jalen Milroe fan because he's given us reason to be. But damn it, man, if you didn't make me look like an idiot this weekend, I had to show back up on Monday and just eat that. Yeah, no, Jalen. Yeah, no, y'all were right. I was wrong about Milroe. Come on, man. We have ridden for you. I
can live with the bad throw.
I can live with the bad throw.
And
cannot live with
I didn't read it.
Zero effort.
Right. I just didn't. I didn't get my read, and I got.
I would have been sitting here. I would have been sitting there Monday morning defending you till I was blue in the face if you had made that tackle, but you didn't, and I have no interest in defending you anymore.
Yeah. So, really tough scenes for the Alabama offense. Really. But I think it puts your identity all into focus. Now, let's wrap the offensive conversation up by going back to the spring and talking about. You bring Ryan Grubb and Scott Huff from Washington to Alabama, and they stay
a month?
8 days. I don't know. They stay a couple weeks, and then they go back to Seattle to be working with Seahawks. And you are scrambling to hire an offensive coordinator, and you just promote from within and give Nick Sheridan his second offensive coordinator job. I think that was the right move at the time, but I think we may have underestimated the combination of Nick Sheridan's not inexperience, but not necessarily wealth of experience calling plays, combined with maybe, let's be honest, the skill sets that you're going to kind of the areas of the playbook that you're going to have to live in with Jalen Milroe. Yeah. I think that you obviously have pages of your playbook not used, but again, going back to the very beginning of the conversation, I think that there is plenty of your playbook that you can use. It's just there's certain chapters that you can and cannot use. And I wonder if the combination of I think he only had 1 year, maybe 2 years at Indiana as the offensive coordinator. This is my second offensive coordinator job. Now I'm in big boy SEC football. Yeah. I have these sections of my playbook I can use. I just wonder if that's really just been a overarching factor this season.
It certainly seems like there's something there. I think a lot of us, myself included, kind of shrugged off when Ryan Grubb left as like, oh, they'll be okay. This is still Kalen DeBoer's offense. They'll be fine. I think we're starting to maybe see that it was Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb's offense. And then, and he's having to kind of had to figure it out on the fly a little bit this year with Nick Sheridan, who maybe doesn't quite have the same situational play calling chops that a Ryan Grubb has. And we've seen that, a few times this year show up in situations where it's just questionable play calls, questionable decisions on offense to do things given, down and distance, given the situation you're in, facing deficits. And yeah, I think there's definitely something to that. We talked about this right before the show. I saw a stat today. Kalen DeBoer has a 58% winning percentage without Ryan Grubb on the sidelines with him. Say what you will about that. I don't know. I think that scramble of trying to find and replace him had a much larger effect on this staff and this team as a whole than we maybe anticipated going into the year. And we're starting to really kind of see it now.
So the question becomes, and I hate to go here, but we're near the end of the season. There's one game left and a bowl game. It's over for the year. You're about time to evaluate.
Mm-hmm.
Is Nick Sheridan coming back for a second year? Or does Nick Sheridan say, okay, let me play Austin Mack, let me play Ty Simpson, let me play Keelan Russell, and let me show you what I can really do? Or do you give him that? What becomes of this Alabama offense? Because I think that there's, not a 0% chance that Jalen Milroe doesn't return to Alabama. I think that there is.
He needs to just do the Jalen Hurts thing. Go transfer to Oklahoma.
Ain't no love in
go ahead,
Oklahoma.
We thank you for your time, but please.
No, he needs
either go to the NFL or do not return to Alabama, please.
New York Giants.
Sure.
New York Giants, 6 overall. Right. Perfect.
See him in the Raiders. Going out to Vegas. They'll be right up there.
So are you?
I think you give him one more year. Just for me personally, I think the
continuity is a big thing.
Yes, I think continuity is big. I think given who you have back there, you do have Austin Mack in the wings waiting. Now, a lot of people will bang the Ty Simpson drum. Me and you are a bit more in the Austin Mack camp, and I think maybe this coaching staff is as well. I don't know, but I think that's kind of where things lie.
I think he's going to be given every chance to win the job.
And I think that he has the skill set to allow you to open up that playbook almost completely and do whatever Kalen DeBoer and Nick Sheridan want to do offensively. So I think you give him one more year. I think just because what you've seen him do in the limited skill set at quarterback he has, a lot of it has been good. There's been some bad, obviously, but I think a lot of it has been good. Because me and you talked after the LSU game, after that Wisconsin game, you came away from those games thinking like, all right, this guy's in his bag. He's got it figured out. He knows what to do. So I think there is still a lot of promise there. Get him a quarterback where he can really do what he wants to do offensively, and maybe we see it explode. Maybe they go crazy next year. I think if they don't, if we go into next season and we're sitting here after, ahead of the Iron Bowl and we're still talking like, yeah, the offense looks terrible, then that's when you move on, because at that point, But I think you have to at least give him a quarterback that can work in the system they want to run.
Austin Mack to Ryan Williams next year. Oof.
Ryan Williams' sophomore year is going to feed families.
You cannot wait for it. All right, so let's tell you about our friend Derek Daniel at State Farm as we've wrapped up our offensive discussion. We want to encourage you to stick around for our defensive discussion. We're going to talk about the Alabama defensive performance and make this a part 2 episode. As we wrap up part number 1, we want to thank our friend Derek Daniel right here at State Farm. We are right off McFarland Boulevard, past the Tiger Rock on the left in Northport. You can call Derek and his team today at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Home, life, auto insurance, renter's insurance. It is wet outside today, so make sure you have the right auto insurance. Call 205-758-3391 for a fast auto insurance quote. They can give you a quote, get you better coverage, maybe lower your rates. Red Reese and Victoria will be happy to talk to you today. Call and see how much Derek can save you today.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.